Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. This is a members video. We're going to take a look at the tech market and see if we can decipher what's happening. I do think most targets on the indices are about to hit, with tech kind of lagging just behind. So I could see, first of all, that tech could get an inside day and that could finish off with filling the gap. With that said, your weekly seasonality tends to, on Monday, follow through with what happens on Friday. So that could give us a little bit of a boost there as well. And in the market video, we'll go through all of the indices, but here we're just going to go through Qs, SMH, and then all of the big tech. So it is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. November 22nd, 2024. And here we go. So we have the daily time frame. We're not going to worry about the higher time frames because we just do those over and over again. Nothing's changed. We're going to have an inside week, now an inside day, and we're barely holding up on this 8 EMA. I do think we're going to get a lower high. And it's very possible that if big tech needs to have one more push to the upside, that SPY comes close to maybe getting a double top or ekes out a new high. So I have to keep an open mind, even though I think both are going to get lower highs. That's what we're going to have to deal with. And I'm really going to focus on a lot of these names may need to bounce just a little bit. And so that might let the Qs, that's going to be the theme today. So that might have the Qs go up to its final targets. So this is a daily time frame. What we're looking for after the lower high is a wave 3, 4, and 5 coming down to about the 4, let's call it 470 area. And that would test the 200-day moving average. That would be a good support there. So we should see a reaction off of this 470. 470, you see it's a nice support spot here, once resistance. But just a little bit lower. We have some volume. We have the 200-day, and I think that could be a point where you just finish off your move, okay? And that again, I'm looking for that to happen into December. And then we get our Santa Claus rally after that with the lower high. Now, do we get a higher high? There's going to be a count, okay? There's going to be a situation where we could get a new high. And so we'll talk about that a lot more in the future, but it would mean that this is some sort of ending diagonal where the wave 4 would cross over the wave 1. So that would be the bullish position. Again, I'm not in that camp, especially if we notice that this is a 5-wave move. If this seems blatant that it's A, B, C 3-wave move, then we'll just even more keep in mind that we could get new highs where this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 crossing over the 1, and then a 5. Okay, so always keep those in mind. We are still in this very large wedge here, but we should hit this point. Okay, 65-minute. On the 65, you see this smaller bearish rising wedge had a fake break, and we're going to test the highs here. Now, this is what I'm talking about. I can't really get too much of a situation unless the high is in, where this is an A, B, and C. If this is done, then yes, I could see this getting lower highs, and with the other targets hitting, this could fall. But I think that's doubtful looking at the mega tech stocks. I think this is triangulating for, at minimum, one more move here. Okay, so that could happen into Monday, and then after that, we get our reversal. It's really as simple as that. Now, looking at this from the this perspective, again, this looks like a 3-wave move. We talk about that over and over, but I think it's more likely to be a 1-2, 1-2, where we tag the 62% retracement so that technically could be done, but if we get a follow through into Monday, then I think we reach the 786. So that, that's somewhat of a big move in the micro term, going from 5 points up up here into one day. So, that could allow the other tech markets to go ahead and lift. And why don't I just go straight to it? SMH doesn't really matter. I think SMH really is weak, and if anything, it could get one more high here, but I think it already resolved everything. I think this is the weaker, and I think that if it bounces, it's going to be minimal and just keep getting lower highs, where NVIDIA is doing the same thing. Okay, so let's go around Apple. Again, no difference on this one. Bearish rising channel, and this eventually will break down. It looks like it wants to get one more high here, and it'll cause a divergence again. So we had divergence already, but we'll form another one if it gets a new high there. Amazon has this bullish falling wedge, and I think that could break out for maybe a 50% retracement or so. It doesn't have to go that deep, and I want you to realize when we get to Meta, this thing could fall out from here, okay? And that's where you need to know where your risk tolerance is. If it falls any further, maybe it's not doing what you think it is, and then you can get out of the trade, especially if it goes underneath this channel and the 200 moving average. So just want to keep that in mind if things go wrong. All right, and I'll talk about that on Meta because I have a good example for you. Tesla. So Tesla has been kind of our darling and broke out today from the ascending triangle here. So I don't think this move is over, but although we got this quick little wick here earlier in the day, we did satisfy pretty much this move. So in a sense, if these were all 5-wave impulse waves, then this you could count as it 1, 2, 3, and a wave 4 being the triangle, and a 5, and that's complete. Okay, for this entire move being a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so now your risk is starting to the risk to the downside is getting greater, we'll call it. So make sure you have those swings to the downside prepared just in case this doesn't want to go any further. But in a sense, it doesn't make real sense to me. Now, if price breaks back down into this triangle, I think this move is pretty much done, especially if it breaks down any of these lows here. But just in a sense, we still have targets well unfinished here from the targets from this retracement, extensions, all sorts. We went through this in yesterday's video, so I'm not going to go through that again. We didn't even hit the minimum 370, and we had 3 inside days. So I suspect Monday might be Tesla really pushing up, along with, you saw Amazon's wedge. Apple, I think, is going to counter that and start heading lower. And then let's go ahead and and this Tesla might finish off the week because we have this cluster at the 1122. So it may finish off today, meaning the week, here at one of these higher prices, and just be aware of that. And then those other stocks could possibly finish off the move. But again, Meta is setting up a higher low here, and we're looking for Meta to close this gap. So that could happen into Monday. Oh, and the example of Meta was this. We had a falling wedge here on a lower time frame. We could draw this out. And so I know it's not in the same position where it's at the bottom of the channel, like Amazon, but just know that this does occur when you have nice little wedges set up and you're like, oh, it's about to, head up higher, and then it breaks down from there, and pretty devastating move there from this triangle setup. All right, it looks like it's setting up from this move here, but it didn't. So NVIDIA is, in my opinion, it's done. And this could be a 1-2, 1-2 setup here, lower. All right, this impulse wave being the main drive to the downside. And so I could see this just kind of drifting up here midway or more going into Monday and allowing the market to bounce a little bit higher. And also, if it wanted to go a bit higher, this could easily be a flat pattern too, A, B, C. But if you have all the megatech stocks really, really bouncing, I think we're looking for more of much deeper retracements or new highs in the Qs. So I think NVIDIA is going to hold the market with Apple, hold it down somewhat while the others do the legwork. And then Google is well on its way lower, where this is a 1-2, and we're trying to finish off wave 3. So maybe we get a little bit lower today or Monday, and then Google has its bounce for a wave 4 and continues. Going through these really quick. Microsoft, this one again, it's kind of setting up to where I think it has a higher bounce here. It had a bounce already and just consolidating, so it could just be another ABC from the low here since we got brand new lows, and this could retrace this move here. And then clearly if we break down from this triangle, then we're going to be a lot more bearish on Microsoft. So that's pretty much it. I think Tesla has higher to go, Meta bounces, and Amazon with Microsoft and takes the market up into Monday to finish off some of these moves here, okay? And looks like Apple got a new high here, and that just formed divergence, so we can put that on. I like to get that real time. That's cool. Doesn't mean it's going to roll over today, but going into Monday, it could be a bearish stock going against the others. And that's all you need to hold the market from lifting off is Apple and NVIDIA, while the others kind of grind that last move for the Qs. And one last look, since we're looking at this right now. Again, this triangulation, we're testing the top there. So do we hit our targets? Do we break out from here today? I don't know if we'll hit this into the end of the day. That would be quite the move, but I will switch and add on to our short positions if that is the case. So just keep that in mind. All right, I'm going to get this out to you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.